So here's the deal, buddy. This report is all about the power of yet, a cool concept popularized by the awesome psychologist Carol Dweck. It's basically the core of a growth mindset, which means always wanting to improve and not giving up easily. We're going to dive into how just adding the word yet can totally change how we see failure, from a dead end to a golden opportunity to learn and move forward. Seriously, this can be a game changer in our lives. We'll also break down the deep psychological and practical benefits, like becoming more resilient when things get tough, boosting our motivation to try new stuff, and adapting easily to unexpected situations. Plus, I'll give you concrete tips on how to actually use yet in your daily life, whether it's at school, work, or even in big companies. But hey, we'll also look at the other side of the coin, like the challenges of putting this into practice and how it connects to bigger socioeconomic factors, because not everyone starts with the same advantages. The main goal is for all of us to really get this and feel brave enough to embrace failure as a crucial part of our never-ending journey of growth. Get ready to become the best version of yourself. The yet paradigm and why failure matters. What the power of yet is and where it came from. Carol Dweck. The power of yet is a cool concept from psychologist Carol Dweck, central to the growth mindset. Simply put, adding yet to a statement like, "I can't do this," turns it into, "I can't do this yet." This small change makes us see learning as an ongoing journey with future potential, not a fixed endpoint. The difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. It's key to know the difference. A growth mindset believes abilities can be developed through effort and good strategies. They see challenges as chances to grow. A fixed mindset, however, thinks abilities are set from birth and avoids challenges to protect their perceived intelligence. Essentially, one values effort for improvement, while the other sees effort as a sign of lacking innate talent. The sweet connection between yet and a growth mindset. The power of yet and a growth mindset are deeply connected and support each other. Yet acts as a practical tool that boosts confidence and encourages persistence. For instance, a Chicago school replacing failing with "not yet" helps students feel more confident to keep trying. The growth mindset is the core belief that makes using yet genuine. Brain studies even show that people with a growth mindset have more active brains when facing challenges, unlike those with a fixed mindset. Why failure matters, mental and practical benefits. Failure might feel bad, but it's super important for growth. Mental benefits: conquering fear, building resilience, boosting motivation. Fear of failure often ties into our self-worth, but yet helps us shift focus from shame to learning opportunities. This builds resilience and grit, helping us bounce back from setbacks. Yet also tells our brain improvement is possible, boosting motivation and self-efficacy. This makes us psychologically stronger and more optimistic. Practical benefits: learning opportunities, sharper problem solving, and creativity. Failure teaches us a lot, like the saying FAIL, first attempt in learning. With feedback and reflection, we can pinpoint mistakes and adjust our approach. Focusing on the process, not just the outcome, sharpens problem solving and creativity. People with a growth mindset see obstacles as puzzles to solve. Failure also strengthens life skills like responsibility and motivates us to do better. How to develop a yet mindset. Want to build a yet mindset? Here's how. Reframe your inner dialogue and use positive language. When negative thoughts pop up, add yet to them. For example, "I can't do this yet." This simple shift turns problems into growth opportunities. Emphasize effort over outcome. Praise the process, hard work, and persistence, not just innate talent or the final result. This boosts intrinsic motivation by showing effort leads to progress. Don't be afraid to ask for and accept constructive feedback. See constructive criticism as a chance to improve, not a personal attack. Actively seeking feedback shows commitment to growth. Normalize struggle and celebrate progress. Understand that struggle is a natural part of learning. Validate tough emotions, then lean into them positively. Celebrate all progress, big or small, to build confidence. Set realistic and gradual goals. Break big tasks into smaller, manageable steps. Achieving these small milestones builds confidence and makes the process less daunting. Using SMART goals helps set achievable targets. The impact of the power of yet in various contexts. The impact of yet is widespread. Education. It encourages a positive view of learning, making students more persistent and resilient. The not yet grading system in Chicago schools is a prime example, giving students a path to the future. Career development. It helps reframe current limitations as future potential, like, I'm not ready to lead a team yet. This encourages professionals to throw their hat in the ring, learn from failures, and seek feedback, seeing weaknesses as strengths you haven't developed yet. Innovation and corporate environments. It fosters continuous learning and adaptability in businesses. Companies with a growth mindset accept mistakes as learning opportunities, encouraging employees to admit errors and innovate. Leaders who embrace this mindset invest in skill development, leading to more engaged and creative teams. Real-world case studies and examples. J.K. Rowling. The Harry Potter author faced many rejections but persisted, believing success was yet to come. Her story shows the power of yet, though it's worth noting socioeconomic privilege can also play a role. Albert Einstein. His philosophy aligns with a growth mindset, emphasizing unique potential and not giving up. His fish climbing a tree quote highlights that failure in one area doesn't mean overall inability. Application in classrooms and business. The not yet grading in Chicago schools and how growth mindset companies foster innovation and employee development are practical examples. Criticisms and limitations of the growth mindset and yet concepts. This concept isn't without its critics. Empirical effectiveness and implementation challenges. Some studies question its large-scale effectiveness in improving academic achievement, suggesting it's often reduced to mere slogans without practical impact. Misunderstanding and misapplication. It's sometimes confused with the self-esteem movement, focusing on making kids feel good rather than on purposeful effort and genuine learning. The role of innate ability and socio-economic factors. Critics argue it might underestimate innate abilities and systemic disadvantages, potentially blaming individuals for factors beyond their control. Building the future with yet. The power of yet is a core part of the growth mindset, transforming failure into opportunities for learning and innovation. It makes us more resilient, motivated, and adaptable. Its benefits are vast, from mental strength to practical skill development, and it applies across education, careers, and business. While there are criticisms regarding its implementation and scope, a nuanced understanding is key. Tips for moving forward with yet. To fully leverage the power of yet and cultivate an authentic growth mindset, here are some tips you can try. Focus on purposeful effort and process. Educators, parents, and organizational leaders should consistently praise effort, strategies, and persistence, not just final outcomes or innate talent. This encourages intrinsic motivation and the understanding that growth comes from directed hard work. For example, instead of saying you're so smart because you got an A, it's better to say, great job. Your hard work in understanding this material really paid off. This will help individuals see that control over their growth lies within themselves, not in unchangeable innate attributes. Create a safe environment for failure. Build a space where mistakes are seen as an integral learning opportunity, not as a reason for blame or punishment. Normalizing struggle and celebrating small progress will encourage healthy risk-taking and exploration. For instance, if a project fails, instead of immediately looking for who's to blame, invite the team to discuss, what can we learn from this? What strategies can we try next time? This will reduce the fear of failure and encourage openness. Encourage constructive feedback and self-reflection. Teach yourself to actively seek feedback and view it as data for improvement. Facilitate regular self-reflection practices to identify lessons from setbacks and plan your next steps. Don't be afraid to ask for input from your boss or friends and listen with an open mind. Remember, feedback isn't a personal attack, it's a roadmap to getting better. This process will transform feedback from a threat into a valuable source of data for continuous improvement. Integrate yet systematically. In education, consider grading systems that reflect yet for tasks not yet mastered. In organizations, encourage frameworks where weaknesses are reframed as strengths you haven't developed yet, fostering continuous skill development. This could mean offering training or mentoring opportunities for areas where employees are not yet proficient, making them feel supported to keep growing. With that, the concept of yet becomes an integral part of the culture, not just a slogan. Be aware of external factors. While mindset is a powerful internal force, It's crucial to acknowledge and address systemic and socioeconomic barriers that might affect an individual's capacity to thrive. Applying yet must be complemented by efforts to create more equitable opportunities and access to resources. For example, if a student struggles to learn due to a lack of resources at home, we can't just say, "You haven't tried hard enough yet," but also need to consider how to provide additional support and address existing inequalities. This is vital so that the yet concept can be relevant and empowering for everyone, without exception. By consciously internalizing the power of yet and a growth mindset, we can transform our relationship with failure, no longer seeing it as a barrier, but as an indispensable compass pointing towards continuous growth, learning, and achievement.